man, which is Elijah Muhammad, he had delivered our people out of our destruction. You put a lot on that to give a man that kind of title. He's a man. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. Mainly because the church, the Sunday church people, will not go to the Old Testament and remember the old ways. You cannot go in the New Testament and think you're going to understand Paul right if you don't understand the Old Testament. You can't. You're going to wrestle to your own destruction. They're destroying each other right now. Well, Paul said, if you don't understand Paul, because Paul was a great scholar. He spoke, he didn't break it down very much. He just assumed you knew. So I had to go back to the Old Testament and try to figure out what did Paul mean by this. So we got to go back to the Old Testament and understand what's going on. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Go ahead, brother.
Remember the days of old,
Yes,
consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
You see, remember the days of old. We can't ask our elder nothing. They still believe in the white Jesus. We can't ask our elder nothing. They still believe in Santa Claus. We can't ask them nothing because they do not have the nation of Israel doctrine. They have Roman doctrine. They have it. Go ahead. Listen what he say here. You got to have Israel.
Verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance,
Yes, sir.
when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
When he separated the nation, he set the bounds of the people according of Israel. What does that mean? He used Israel through times, seasons. That's why we have 12 hours in a day. In the day, that's why we have 12 hours in the night. That's why Jesus told 12 disciples and not 13 disciples. This is why he did that. That's why we have 12 months in the year. Because of the nation of Israel. 12 tribes. Everything run through us and our people. Why you don't know that? Because Preacher Pope chapter too busy trying to get money in them Sunday churches. You got to know this, man. And woman. Go ahead.
For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
See, that portion is the people. Jacob, which is Israel, and a lot of his people, meaning that we have an inheritance. We over here in America fighting on this land. They're not going to give us no equality. They're not going to give us our 40 acres and a mule, as Martin Luther King was asking for. They're not. Stop even thinking about it. Go and put your mind toward the nation of Israel, the land of Israel. That's the land we're going to rule and reign. That's the land. But we so focused on the American dream. The 4-bedroom house, 2 cars, husband and wife having $50,000 jobs.
That's right.
3 to 2.5 kids. I don't know where they get the 2.5 kids from, but this is the stuff they focus on. This is what they focus on.
That's right.
You need to focus on Israel and getting there. Don't get me wrong. He'll provide some of that stuff for you, but don't let that be your focal point of serving him. That's why most of these people go to these Sunday churches and these mosques, because they telling them how to get wealth, how to get it. A lot of these people own their own businesses. They do a lot of stuff for their people. This is what's going on, y'all. We're just meaning to show y'all that. But he said, remember the times of old. Let's go to Genesis chapter 16 and verse 1. Let's go back and understand the times of old. Because we're dealing with Jesus and Muhammad. We need to find out who Muhammad, great-granddaddy is, and where did he come from. Y'all gonna get good and full today. Gonna get good and full today. We don't understand the Old Testament. Testament and the bloodline of Muhammad. He has a bloodline. He come from somewhere. So you need to know that.
That's right.
Jesus has a bloodline. He comes from somewhere. You need to know that. Because Jesus' bloodline is the way to salvation. Let's look at this. Let's look at the bloodline of Muhammad. Genesis chapter 16 and verse 1. Go ahead and read it.
Now, Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children.
Go ahead.
And she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
Go ahead.
And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold now, excuse me, the Lord has restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah.
Now Sarah and Abraham was married. Sarah couldn't have no children, and she knew Abraham wanted children, so she told her handmaid and Abraham to have kids. Big mistake. I don't know why she did that. Big mistake. We're going to find out where the Arabs came from and Muhammad people come from. Go ahead. Verse 4, 3.
Verse 3. Okay. I'm sorry. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan,
Go ahead.
and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And he went in to Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
So she was mad now. But she told Abraham to have a child by Hagar. Trying to put the cart before the horse. Jesus, you're going to find out God going to tell them that Abraham and Sarah, y'all going to have a child. Y'all going to have a child. Y'all going to establish the nation of Israel. But Sarah said, no, I can't have no children. Go on in there, Abraham, and marry Hagar so we can have a child. Abraham said, okay, I'll go. Like he gonna turn it down. That was the wrong mistake. Wrong mistake. But God gonna honor him though. Jump down to verse 11. Verse 11. Let's look at this. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard thy affliction.
See, when Hagar and Sarah couldn't get along, she went and told Abraham. And Abraham put her out. He put her out the house and she went about her way. And the angel appeared to her and told her she gonna have a child. His name is Ishmael. He's gonna be a very hard to deal with son. Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Verse 12.
And he would be a wild man. His hand would be against every man's hands against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
He's going to be a wild man. How's he wild? He strapped bombs to himself and go blow up towns. You look at the Arabs, how they have suicide bombing. Wild man. He come over here in America, strap bombs to himself, blow up people in a marathon. Wild man. His hands against everybody from Jerusalem to America, all over the world. And he don't care. Because they have a different type of belief. They believe that if they sacrifice their body for their nation, they believe they're going to come back and have 12 virgins and they're going to have in paradise. Where that came from? You know who came from? It came from an ignorant man. Muhammad. Ignorant. Because we know it won't be no marriage in God's kingdom. This is what they come up with. You follow an ignorant man. He can't read or write. This is why they do what they do. And our black people are gravitating to it. They're doing the same thing. Sacrifice. You hear Farrakhan said, we need, out of 1 million men, we need 10,000 men to kill whoever killed our people. Go look it up for yourself. God ain't never told you to do that. You got that from your brother, which is Ishmael. Muhammad. He says that kind of stuff. Jesus preached peace. If somebody slap you on the cheek, give him your other one. Somebody steal from you, give him a cake. Give him whatever you need. But only the Arab religion is wild. They kill if you kill them. They hurt if you hurt them.
That's right.
This is what his great-great-granddaddy came from. Ishmael, from Abraham now. Jump down to verse 16. Go ahead.
And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.
So he was 86 years old, Abraham, when he buried Ishmael. We're going to go into Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. Let's see, did God make Ishmael or Muhammad, granddaddy, his chosen people? See, that's what we got to understand. The chosen bloodline goes from Abraham and Sarah, not Abraham and Hagar. Two different wives. Two different wives. And we have to do it like this so you understand. You just can't just disbelieve a person because you hear people telling that they are bad. You can't do that. You got to research this thing. Verse 1, go ahead.
And when Abram was 99 years old at 9,
Yes, sir.
the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So God appeared to Abraham. What he told you in Psalm? I appear to my people, which is Israel. Go ahead.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
Make a covenant between the nation of Israel and him. Go ahead, jump down to verse 15. The speed is up. Go ahead.
And God said unto Abraham, as for Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be. Because
Abram was Abraham in the beginning. He didn't have any children, but when he got a child, he named him Abraham. He's the father of many nations. He had to have a child. But he only recognized the child between Abraham and Sarah. Go ahead.
And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
Yes, sir. So he said, I'm going to bless Sarah. She's going to be a mother of many nations. But listen what Abraham said. Go ahead.
Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 99 years old bear?
He said, man, I'm almost 100 years old. I'm going to have a child. So he laughed. He laughed. And the reason why he laughed, because he didn't believe. So he going to tell God something right here. Listen what he said right here. Go ahead.
And Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
He said, let Ishmael, which is the father of Muhammad, which is the father of the Arab, let him live. Listen what God said. Go ahead.
And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac.
Yes, sir.
And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
His seed after him. Isaac. That's the bloodline of Jesus. That's where Jesus came from, through the nation of Israel. Through Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac, and Jacob. All the way down to the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
So he didn't forget about Ishmael. He said, I'm going to give him 12 princes, and going to make a great nation. That's why they control all the oil. Because God gave them that. It ain't just by having the Arabs got control of the oil. That's Ishmael kids. That's who run it over there. You talking about gas and all, they run it. This is where Muhammad came from. Ishmael. He's our brother too now. Go ahead.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac.
But my covenant I will establish with who?
Isaac.
Isaac. Go ahead.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
So he told him that this bloodline going to be established with Sarah and Abraham. His covenant. So much for Gabriel showing up to Muhammad, right?
Amen.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 25 and verse 19. Let's see the bloodline of Jesus, where he came from. All this must be broken down, y'all, because y'all gonna be approached with people And they're going to say, why are you against the Nation of Islam? They are for our people. And you open this book up to them, they're going to look dumb because they don't know who they following. We know who we follow. Genesis chapter 25, verse 19. Let's see the bloodline of Jesus. Go ahead. Verse 19.
And these are the generation of Isaac, Abraham's son.
Yes, sir.
Abraham begot Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife.
Yes, sir.
The daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of
Padanaram.
the sister of Laban, the Syrian.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Now understand this. Isaac had a wife named Rebekah, and she was pregnant. And she had real bad, as you would say, morning sickness or whatever. The children inside of her body were battling. This is how the nation of Israel were born, and also this is how the nation of the Jewish people were born. But go ahead.
Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
She said, why do you won't let me rest? They battling in her stomach. It's a reason why there's a future prophecy. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations?
And two,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy body.
2 nations and 2 manner of people in your womb. They're going to be separated. Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
This is the first one. The reason why they gave the description to him, because he didn't look like us, which is black. He was red. He was an albino. He was an albino he created when Rebekah had him. That's why you understand by our people, we can create every race it is. That's right. White, black, different shades of brown. Every race come from us. Every race. It's just that when you move to different climates, your skin get lighter. And most of all, you combine these albinos together, eat down the generation, skin get lighter, hair get straighter, and all this. But we ain't dealing with all that. I'm just trying to show you the foundation of how far away the bloodline he came through. So that's what my Hebrew brothers always say, that Esau is the white man. No, he's not the white man. He's your brother Esau. That's over there in the land of Jerusalem, taking your spot, calling himself Israel. The white man are the Europeans. That's from another nation. That's from a nation of Japheth, their nation. We'll get into that a little later. But go ahead.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Yes, sir.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
He was 60 years old, 80 years old. Go ahead.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Yes, sir.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
See, Esau was he was a hunter. He used to go out and hunt. Venison, he's talking about deer per se. He used to go out and hunt. But Jacob was a plain man. He lived in tent. Don't that sound like us? Sorry, I won't stay in the house. But go ahead.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
Yes,
for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
Edom. These are the Edomites. These are the people of Esau. The Jewish people that's in the land. Go ahead.
And Jacob said, send me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Understand what's the birthright is? The first son that a man has, he's supposed to get everything his father has.
That's right.
The first son. So Esau was the first son. He had the birthright. He will get everything Isaac was going to get him, which is ruling the nation of Israel. But God already told Rebekah what was going to happen. Jacob was going to run it. He's going to put him in control. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
The reason why I'm reading is because you got a lot of theologians say that Jacob tricked Esau out of his birthright. He didn't trick him out. He put it on the table. Hey, you want to eat? They got a bowl of soup. You choose. You eat it. He gave it to him. He put it on the table. You're going to find people saying that Jacob was a trickster. He wasn't. Because he hated his birthright. He didn't want it. Go ahead.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
See what I'm saying? He didn't want it. He didn't trick him out of it. It was a bargaining chip. Hey, you want something to eat? Send me your birthright. So let's go to Genesis chapter 32 and verse 1. Let's see. I want to make sure you understand. That's why we're so big on Israel. Let's see where Israel got their name from. Genesis 32 and verse 1. And then we're going to jump down to verse 24. So you got to understand all this. You come up and say, hey, I'm Israel. You didn't know how you got your name. Where did you get it from? You need to know the nations. Genesis 32 and verse 1. We're going to jump to 24. Go ahead.
And Jacob went on his way, and the angel of God met him.
Yes, sir.
24.
Jump down to verse 24. Jacob went away, and the angel of God met him. The reason why I say that is because people love to say, oh, this was Jacob wrestling with God. It was an angel he was wrestling with. And listen, Jacob wanted something from this angel. Listen what he wanted. Go ahead.
And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day.
He was wrestling with the angel all night. He wanted something from him. Go ahead.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hallow of his thigh. And the hallow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him.
So the angel touched his thigh and dislocated his hip to get him off of it. But listen what he said right here. Go ahead.
And he said, let me go, for the day breaking. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me.
He wanted a blessing from this angel. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob.
Yes, sir.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
Yes, sir.
For as a prince has thy power with God and with men, and has prevailed.
So he changed Jacob's name from Jacob to Israel. He adopted him. He adopted our nation. This is where we get our name from, Israel. So you'll know this. When you see Jacob or Israel talking about the same people. Same people, no difference when you read the Bible. These are little bits and pieces that when you read the Bible, you'll understand it. That's why most of the Sunday Christians don't go back and read the Old Testament, because they preacher ain't taught them how to understand it. We want to understand where all these people come from. I do, at least I do. I don't know about y'all, but I do. Let's go to Exodus chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's see what tribe Jesus came from. That's the nation that was blessed through Jacob. I'm just trying to show you. You got to make a choice here. Either you choose by emotion and thinking that these people are helping you, or you choose by knowledge, which is what Jesus wants us to do. Choose by knowledge. So we're going to look at the 12 sons of Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's see what tribe Jesus came from. Go ahead. Verse 1. Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Go ahead.
Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob.
This is okay with Jacob in Egypt at the time. This is the time when we were going up to Egypt to find some food because they had a famine in the land. If you understand the nation of Israel, how they got into Egypt. This is how we got to Egypt. This is how we got enslaved by the Egyptians right here because we had to go looking for food. And they enslaved us. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah.
Yes, sir.
Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher.
These are the 12 brothers' names. These are the 12 tribes' names. This is the chosen seed from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is who you must go through to get salvation. If you don't know their people, you will not get it. You will get some other Jesus salvation, which is Muhammad, saying that a prophet came to him. Go ahead. You finished with that?
Yes, sir.
But pay close attention to what he said. He said, Judah. This is the tribe that our Lord and Savior come from, and I'm going to show you this. Let's go to Genesis, one book right here, Genesis chapter 49. She'll flip one page over. Genesis chapter 49, verse 1, and we're going to jump to verse 9. Now Jacob had 12 sons, but one of his sons, Jesus came from, and not from Ishmael 12 sons, but Jacob's sons. This is how you know who the Father is. You're going to follow Jesus or Muhammad. So we're going to read verse 1 and jump to 9 and let you know about this prophecy that Jacob is telling his sons that what's going to happen in the future through all his sons. But we're going to deal with one particular one today due to time. We're going to read Genesis 49, verse 1. We're going to jump to verse 9. Go ahead.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Can we read verse 2? Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob. Hearken unto Israel your father.
He said, gather. I'm going to tell you what thus saith the Lord told me to tell you, through all of y'all, what y'all are going to do. How y'all going to impact the world in the last days. But jump down to verse 9. Then look at this tribe right here, Judah. Judah, this is where Jesus came from. This is the bloodline. Go ahead.
Judah is a lion swept
Yes, sir.
from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as an old lion who shall rouse him up.
Now, Judah was that warrior tribe. If you understand how the kingdom was split, you had 9 tribes that went to the north with the Syrians, and you had it was the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And this is the tribe that Jesus came from, which is Judah. He's the lion whelp, meaning that he's the one going to give the laws. He's the one that's going to be the priest of God. That's right. But go to verse 10. This is what he said here.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Yes, sir.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
He said, this power, which is his law, will not depart from Judah. It's always going to be on Judah. Go ahead.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Now
this Shiloh is Jesus. That's right. He's going to gather. He's the only one that's going to deliver us out of this captivity. So stop searching for a group that you think going to fight for us. Only group that's going to fight for us is the nation of Israel. How do we fight? Through knowledge. I'm telling you about the laws, were not to break a law, so that this man, which is the government, which is the white man, you know, he going to persecute us, what? 7 times more than any other nation. Y'all see it? Y'all see it. We get shot for having a screwdriver in our hand. We get shot for traffic stops. It's a reason for this, because our people don't know how not to stop breaking these laws. But listen to what he said. He said, Judah shall spring up as a lion whelp, and Shiloh shall come. Let me show you that Jesus coming out of the tribe. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14. All of this is put together to show you, don't choose Mohammed way of doing things, or the Muslim way. I can go even further. Don't even choose the Jehovah's Witness way, the Seventh-day Witness way, all them ways, all these different types of religions. Don't choose them. Only religion you choose, if you want to call it that, is the nation of Israel. Period.